Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm planning on a pork tail soup. I'd like to take this time to thank everyone that's subscribed to my channel. Thank everyone that's watched any of my videos. Thank you so very much. If you like a video, if you watch a video, if you subscribe, it does a wonder of good for me. I am trying so hard to get my channel built up. I am currently at 80 subs. I would like to reach 100 really soon. I don't actually have a timeline, but 100 subs gets me closer to actually naming my channel. So everyone that watches, please, it's free to sub. And you don't have to hit the bell icon. You don't have to be notified when I put up stuff. But it would be appreciated if you did. Let's get cooking. Pork tails are already boiling. I'll show you that later. But I have a ton of vegetables that I want to put in it. I have long beans, shiitake mushrooms, leeks, green chives, bok choy. Oh, I'll probably come up with more. Today I'm going to make an Asian style pork soup. So I am using pigtails. Just this is their first little boil to get the impurities out. Otherwise you'd be scooping nasty stuff off your soup broth while it's cooking. So I think it's had just about long enough. I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then we're going to drain it and start again with fresh water. Alright, I have boiled our pork for about 10 minutes and I'm just going to drain it off. Steamy. Stuck in there. I missed. Okay, so you'll see all these bits stuck to your pork, and a lot of it probably hopefully went down the drain. But just to make sure we get it all off the pork, I'm going to rinse our pork with some hot water. Spray. I don't want the pork to cool down, so I'm using hot water. I'm just going to give it a good dousing. And another spray. Strain. Okay, now that we've got it reasonably clean, we need to get our pot cleaned out because it's got a lot of the gicky stuff in it too. We're just going to take a kitchen towel. I'm just going to take the kitchen towel and wipe the scum around the edges. We don't need it perfectly clean. Just get most of the scum out. And then we're going to dump our pork bits back in. Now, if you've never seen a pigtail, except on a pig, they aren't curly. When they come out chopped up, they are kind of little cone shapes. But you do get a lot of meat. There is a fair amount of other bits that come with the pigtail. Oops. So now we're going to fill our pot back up. All right, now we've got our pot filled again with water. I'm going to add some seasoning. All right, and just to make these leaves a little easier to fish out, I have tied them with a bit of string. I have the tough stems of the shiitake mushrooms, the ends of the leek, and 3 very large garlic cloves. Also going to put in some star anise. Just one, I think, because mine is very strong. It smells wonderful, but I don't want to overdo it. Then we're going to put that on high and bring it back to a boil. This is going to cook for quite a long time because pork tails, yeah, fatty, cartilaginous. They have a lot of cartilage. So you want to cook them till they're tender. And we're making a broth here. Don't forget to keep an eye on your stock. You do want to keep it at a fairly good boil, like a strong simmer, not a raging boil. But you do want to see some movement in there. You don't want it boiling so hard that it evaporates everything so fast you can't keep up with it. So I have some pretty good bubbles happening. And I'm happy with that. I would like to see it boil a little harder, but this is okay. It is going to take several more hours. Our broth's been boiling away here for an hour and a half. I just want to give it a taste. So I haven't added any salt or anything like that. You can definitely smell the leeks. And you can see our pigtail is changing color there. So our meat is doing well. There's a lot of fat showing on the surface. Yeah, definitely needs some salt in that. So I'm going to add some fish sauce. Yep, that's better. Could still do with a little something. Definitely taste that star anise that I put in. Glad I only put one in. What I think it needs is more salt and more garlic. But that will be sufficient for now. We will let it continue to cook. Okay, we're just going to cover it, let it continue. It's quite happy in there, and it's coming along nicely. And I have tasted the soup since I added the fish sauce, and it really does not need any more seasoning. One thing I am going to add now is some Chinese sausage that I've had in the fridge for a while. So it's, and it's a dried sausage, so it's pretty desiccated. I'll put that in. And it has cooked down quite a bit. The meat is, I've just tested it, wonderfully tender. The seasoning is wonderful. We're just going to continue to cook. We have lots more stuff to add. Alright, this is cooking down. Like I said, you got to keep your eye on it or you're going to boil away all your water. I am going to remove the leek and the pork and leave just the stock, but I think we need some more liquid in there. And I did check it. It does need a little more salt, but I don't want to add that yet because I know we're adding soy sauce later. So the question is, do I really want to add water now or wait until we remove the pork? Because we're going to take the pork out and put it separately and then make basically a vegetable soup with the pork broth. So I think we'll leave it for now. But it's, it smells so good in here. Other than needing a little more salt, it's fantastic. The meat is becoming very tender and yummy. So let's just let this continue cooking. And I have turned the heat down so we don't have it at a strong boil anymore. It's now down to a fairly good simmer. Alright, so time to chop some vegetables. Got long beans, green chives, leeks, shiitake mushrooms, and bok choy. So let's start. We want to put the harder vegetables in first. So let's do the bok choy, or the basis of it at least. We'll save the leaves for later. Let's do some leek chopping. They've been cleaned already, so there we go. And the shiitake mushrooms, we're gonna give them a nice, oh, they're very meaty. I want to do all soupy things. Pork tails are in a separate pan now in the oven, braising a little. And we have the long beans. There we go. We don't need all of them. And we'll save the leaves for later, as we will the chives. One of the things I am doing is shallow frying some garlic. I just want golden crispy garlic to put on this. I did buy fried shallots, but I couldn't find fried garlic anywhere. And it's so easy to do. Just on a low heat, some oil and some thinly sliced garlic. And just give it time. You have to be patient. You don't want the heat too hot. You don't want to try to rush it. And it turns out so wonderfully. So we got our meat that we've removed from the broth earlier. And it's been in the oven for about half an hour. I added soy sauce and some sambal oelek. And we're just going to give it a stir and put it back in the oven to keep it warm. And give me a little taste here. Oh, that's fabulous. Now we just need to bring our broth back to a boil and cook our vegetables. Okay, I've decided that I am going to saute the shiitake mushrooms with some of the leeks. So we're going to heat some oil in a pan, and we're going to add the chopped leeks. I don't know why, but I just really have this thing about boiled mushrooms. I love mushroom soup, which is essentially boiled mushrooms. When I think of putting raw mushrooms into a hot soup broth, it's just, no, I don't like that idea. That's not how you treat mushrooms. I'm sorry. So, it's just my thing. So, it's an extra step that you don't need to do. You can put the mushrooms in the soup broth. I am just going to saute them. I have all my mushrooms in the pan with the leeks. We're going to saute them there. And let's move over here to the pot of stock. And let's add our vegetables. Let's start adding vegetables. So I have some long beans that I've cut up. I have some bok choy, and this just the stalks, the thick part. And we're going to throw in a good dose of the chives. A little taste here. So I think it needs some salt. Depending on what to put in there for salt, I would like some maybe oyster sauce, but I want to keep the broth clear. So I think we'll just go for some more fish sauce. Ooh, and the one thing that we actually do need to add, excuse me while I Yeah, much better. But we absolutely need to add some toasted sesame oil. Oh yes, immediately. You can smell that immediately. Yeah, that's wonderful. The shiitake mushrooms are a very dense mushroom, and they don't release a lot of liquid the way mushrooms we're used to in the Northwest do. So they are almost meaty, and they sear and the edges brown and they go beautiful. We have our vegetables in there. Our bok choy and our chives and our long beans. Turn that back up a little bit. Just get it back to a boil. And dinner will be ready soon. Thank you for watching. This is my pork tail soup. Well, the pork tails end up on the side, braised, in a dish with some soy sauce and goodies. So we have a bowl of wonderful soup with vegetables and pork broth. And the pork tails over there. A lot of yummy meat. Let's see if it will focus. Please focus. Pork tail meat. It is so tender and yummy because it's been stewing in that broth all day. And then we have the soup, which we've put in some vegetables. And it is such a yummy broth. And we've added some crispy shallots and fried garlic on top. So thank you so much for watching, and I'd love it if you subscribed. I am still working on getting my 100 subs so I can advance my channel and get a proper name for it. I appreciate everyone who watches. You are all wonderful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.